Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. So this is my, coloring adjacent once a month planner video where I wrap up the previous month, talk about what worked and what didn't, and then show you guys what I have planned for the month ahead, and just showing how I track things in my coloring planner or my hobby planner versus my kind of all up planner. And so I'll just talk about it as I go through, like goals and what worked and what didn't. We'll just talk about it as we go along. The thing I'll note at the beginning is I think all the products I use, with the exception of like the pens and the markers, anything stickers or planner or washi tape related are from Hubman and Chubgirl. Their site has a lot of different planner planner stickers and styles, and I really like their format. Plus, I like their books and calendars. What is wrong with me today? Their bullet journals and their planners as well. So it's exclusively their products. I'm not like a sponsor. It's not a sponsorship. It's not anything like that. I just really like their stuff. So I will have their information in the link, and I'm going to try not to say a lot, which we know is a problem for me. So we will start with coloring and hobby type journal first, though I am going to show you guys before we get into that. So my theme for my theme for February actually was the foxes and like the little, these are not foxes, they're Shibas. I thought they were foxes, but they're Shibas. Shibas in the little paper plane theme that they have. So I utilize that across both planners. I actually went through quite a few of the stickers. You can see my empties here. What's cool about their sets is a lot of their sets, maybe not their newest provided sets, but like their older sets, you can specify which month you would prefer. So I can go ahead and get all my stickers for the next year by just going through their collection and then picking which month I want to utilize them in. So this was specific to February, which you'll see. I have a lot I went through. This is their kind of monthly little set of stickers. Then they also have a specific planner set. I've been buying both, but I'll tell you guys, like, I'm utilizing the planner kits a lot more than I'm utilizing these little individual stickers. So I think like moving forward, when I reorder these, I will probably be sticking more with the planner kits and save myself a little bit of money. So here's the empties here. I do have a few little stickers left for the days of the week, but I'm going to count that as used up. Look at all these I used up. I did really good on these this month. I haven't been coloring. I haven't been doing a lot this year, but let me tell you, the one thing I have been doing is actually keeping up with my planner. Now, I might be bulk keeping up with it and not doing it weekly or daily like I should be, but I am keeping up with it, which is unusual. So this still had a few stickers left on it, a tab, a few little dots that, because this planner is the same design, I will probably hold on to these just in case I can find any use for them in the planner overall. Here are some extra Shiba tabs. I'm saving these for the months that may not have them. The one downside I've seen about their planner kits is that they are mostly the same month to month, but there are some differences. Like some months may not have the tabs, some months may have the tabs. Now they, I believe, are in the process of redesigning their planner kits, so I'll be curious to see what the new ones look like when they come out. But since I've already kind of bought for the year, I'm not going to need to buy again. What I have will suffice. But these are extra tabs if I happen to need them for the months that maybe I don't get the tabs in the planner kit or whatever. So they still go with the overall theme. I still have some Shiba stickers, some paper airplane stickers, And these I don't really use that much. I'll use like there's little planner themed ones. I just don't use these little doodles all that much. I guess because I never leave the house. But I'm going to try to make more of an effort to use up these. But anyway, so I have some left. I also am not using up all the washi tape, even though I'm trying to put it everywhere. And they are really cute. It's really cute washi. And these are the little paper airplanes. So the ones that I still have some left, I will probably, as long as those kits are still available, I will probably buy those next year. I'll probably mix up the months because I can do that, but like then I can hopefully use up all the remaining washi next year is the hope. So it's nice though, you get a good amount, which is, I didn't run out of it quickly, so that's a good sign. All right, and the theme for March is honey lavender. So I've already prepped most of the month. These washies are little bees. We're watching Adventure Time and the little outro that has the little bees song. Every time I look at these, I think of that song. And then this little smaller, thinner washi tape is the theme for this month. We have honey jars, we have lavender cups with honey in them, we have lots of bees. I'm trying to use these types of stickers more, but like I said, these are not getting as much use as the big planner kits. So been buying both sets of kits. I still even have some days to use that I don't think I'm going to be able to use. So I still have some days of the week. So I don't think you necessarily need like the planner kit and the other journal planner kit that comes with the smaller stickers. I think you could probably do really well with just one. I'm probably, down the road going to use the planner kit and then maybe just buy a couple of the little sets of stickers that I think I might use, and that would be a substantial savings. But yeah, no, both are really an overkill. If I was fully doing a full monthly and weekly spread in both, I would utilize it. But since you'll see in a minute how I'm doing the planners, having both kits almost seems like too much. So this is what March looks like. That was an oopsie. This one does have tabs. You can see I've already gotten well into this one for the month. And then I've got a couple I'm considering already empties for the month. So those are my themes. The themes are really nice because I can plan ahead for the month. And and I can also go ahead now that I have, I need to start working on Q2, getting that set up in my overall planner, but I'll show you guys that in a minute. All right, hobby planner. I am reusing the planner from last year because, again, this year is trying to use what I have when I can, and so I still have plenty of room left in this one. Plus, I felt like last year's hobby planner setup was just overkill. I was never keeping up with it. It just felt like too much. I didn't want to do a monthly calendar on top of everything. I just felt like, I couldn't keep up with it. So I've tried a smaller, more condensed approach. So like you can see in January, of course, I've been hardly coloring the last few months, so there's not much to show here. I did put out my 2024 goals, which we'll talk about in a minute. February, I did much better. I still updated more in bulk than I should have, but I definitely kept up with it more in February. I also did more hobbies in February than I did January. Maybe not as much coloring. So the legend is like red for coloring. I really didn't get cranked up doing a lot of coloring till the end of the month. I did keep pretty steady videos through the month, though that's what's in the green, though I do have a pretty big gap there. Reading, I pretty much read every day during the month. That's my go-to thing to do to settle into bedtime. So as long as I don't get distracted by doom scrolling, I felt pretty good about that. And the yellow, I did play a lot of video games this month, which is unusual for me. Disney Dreamlight Valley was pretty much my February, and it was a stressful month. Even the thought of coloring overwhelmed me. I didn't really want to listen to anything while I colored. I just wanted to kind of disconnect, and the game gave me a chance to do that. So Buddy Colors. Oh, Tammy called me out yesterday. She's like, I didn't get done with our baby dragons but Buddy Colors, and I'm guessing you didn't either. And the thing is, she knows me so well. So Tammy and I have two pictures left in Baby Dragons by Jade Summer. And when I tell you, we've been trying to get that orchestrated for about 6 months now, but we both work, we're both busy, we get it. That's the cool part of it, is that we both get that it's hard to do. But I'm going to set that. And I didn't color much in February. So we're going to try to make that happen in March now. I'm going to write it down. You're going to see me write it down. New books and supplies for the month, and hashtags. I actually had two. One, I hosted Foxy February 2024. Thank you to everybody that participated. I think there were about 20 or 30 pictures overall on Instagram, at least the ones that it was showing me. That's the reason it's hard for me to do a showcase, because of the way Instagram changed how they display the follow groups. But I also participated in February Color Your Hoard 2024, and actually added to my 2024 goals. So 24 non-colored books for the year. In February, I added 3 books to that. No, 4. Easter Mandalas. Oh wow, I numbered that really weird, didn't I? I think I didn't. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. So I added 1, 2, 3, 4 books in February. I need to put a calendar, like write down the calendar month after them. And I've already got one in for um, March. So doing really good with this one. You know, had a lot to catch up with from January, but I feel like I'm plugging along pretty good on this. Same with the 24 different artists for the year. Deborah Muller was January, but then in February we added Jade Summer, Diane Dufour, Sachin Sachdeva, Joshua Dunbar, and then just this past weekend was a big color weekend for me. So we've got Alexander Franzese, AJ Quinnell, and Prachi Dewan Sachdeva. So I'm again doing great there. I might be on track for a couple finished books soon. I have 2 in particular I'm actively working in. Live streams, I know. I really want one to happen in March. I think one can happen in March. So I'm going to start trying to work on that maybe this week. And then 250 completed pages for the year. Last year's was 224. We were at 4 for the year, which is why you didn't see a completed pages for me for January or February, because I just didn't have much to show. So we're going to just do a Q1 at the end of March. So yeah, not a good start on that, but I am back in the coloring groove, so I feel like this could still be done. We'll see. All right, so I don't have a completed pages video, but this shows you the layout I have here. I'm just listing completed pages and monthly stats. So I do have those. I took a couple pictures and printed them out with my little HP Sprocket printer. And monthly stats, I used a couple sets of alcohol markers. I used the Museum Aquarelle watercolor pencils, the Artix pencils. I also used the Amazon Basics. I know, because I did that video at the beginning of the month. So let me add that in. And I can't spell. So not bad. Not bad for just, 4 pages for the month. I, did use a variety of things for what few pictures I finished. 2 colored by numbers, 2 non-colored by numbers, pretty even spread there, and then 4 uncolored books. All the pages I did were in uncolored books, which I was very pleased with. Sorry, now I gotta blow on that to... So I figured out doing this layout gives me an extra page here, and I don't really want to start the month on this page, so I think I probably could create a cutout or create something fancy that I could insert here to show the legend, but I think I'm just going to put the legend here. I might use this as just a scribbly notes page or something. Like this will just be a scratch page. So that's kind of my month layout. I'm doing this here with the 4 different boxes, then doing a completed pages and a monthly stats. This is a lot easier to keep up with than the multiple pages I had last year. But when you see my personal planner, you'll know why. It's just hard to keep up with 2 different planners. And I feel like if I try to add hobbies into the personal planner, it's going to make it even harder to keep up with. Now, there's a possibility I might try that next year, but if I do that, I'm going to have to buy my planners on like a quarterly basis rather than the whole year one like I have right now, but we'll see. So again, March is the lavender and honey layout. We've got a whole month look here. I'm just writing them out here so I can track what I did over the month. I like this format. This is a lot easier than trying to draw in another calendar. Buddy colors. We are doing, I even remember the pages. So there's Robot Dragon. And there's like Sleepy Dragon. We are going to do these. They're both from Baby Dragons. I did not do this very well. Alright. Those are the last 2 pages I have to do in there. I think Tammy's pretty close to that too. She had a few others to finish up. But we are going to get these. See, Tammy? I put them in here. We're going to get them this month. Because we've got other books we want to work on together. I think we still have a page in Moon Valley to work on too. But we're not going to talk about that one this month. New books and supplies. Okay, one thing I did want to talk about here. So, in my 2024 goals, and when I talked about my plans, and you've heard me allude to it because I have to keep telling myself this, due to trying to save more, trying to be more mindful of my purchases, this year was going to be a no buy, low buy for me. I have a penchant to stress buy very badly, and when I get really stressed, like Etsy draws me in, the really expensive pencil sets, like even just finding little deals, like I am just, you know, it's a problem. It is. I shouldn't minimize it. Stress shopping is an issue, and I do have a therapist, and we do talk about it. And one of the things, there's financial reasons I've alluded to before that I'm trying to minimize my spending this year. And like financially we're fine. I just we did take a bit of a hit, and I want to keep our savings where it's at for as long as possible. And we are currently one income, and we can get by just fine on one income without having to substantially touch our savings for monthly bills, and so I want to keep it that way. My original plan was to use my YouTube ad money that I get. So not making big bucks as a YouTube creator, by the way. I think it's about, when I'm having a really good month, I might do $100 a month, but usually it's every 2 or 3 months. Well, we tried that and it didn't work. I did pretty well for January, but then February, there were some new products released, a lot of new books released, and I really struggled with it. And it was like I'm trying to ration it out because I don't know when my next revenue will hit, because $100 is the minimum. And I haven't been posting as much since like October, November, just because life getting busy. So again, it's going to take even longer. So I was like, okay, I got to stretch that as far as I can. And it was gone by like the first week or two of February. And I was like, oh, okay, no, this isn't going to work. So I rethought it last month, and I'm just going to go with a budget each month. And it's going to be $100 budget. Now, that is a challenge for me, particularly, you think about Amazon books being roughly $8-9 a book. You buy about 10 of them with tax and stuff. Hey, and I love books. So, uh, that is a challenge for me. I am fortunate that, I do have that amount. I fully acknowledge that for me this is a challenging number, but it is a lot, and I'm lucky that I, am in a position that I can set this budget amount. But it is a challenge for me, and I run into this problem of my job's really intense and my job's really stressful, and I'm like, there's this work hard, play hard kind of mentality. The problem is I'm so exhausted all the time. I never play hard. I never barely play, right? Like, so I spend my time buying stuff for the free time that I never get. And so that's a problem. And so this is a be more mindful amount each month. And basically any really big purchases, like I think really and truly the only big purchases I can think of are Copic refills, and I'm kind of on the fence about those. And I would really like the Caran d'Ache Super Color 120 set. The Coloring Chemist the other day showed where she built an open stock set of the full museum aquarels and then added in all the super colors except for the colors that match between the two sets. That's my biggest problem with the museum aquarels is I need more than 76 colors, and like the super colors are a great addition to that. And I saw it set and I'm like, oh, that's what I want. So big purchases like that will have to wait till just like Christmas or birthday. So basically this will give me, books each month, Etsy, one or two books. If I feel so inclined for like a non-US book, that's where my money usually goes, or buying supplies. I think I'm going to roll in, to make this more challenging, I'm going to roll in any purchases I have to make for stuff I run out of. That wasn't part of my original plan, but I think to make this a little more challenging and a little more mindful, like if I need, I'm not going to need new markers anytime soon. If I need some new pencils, like if I'm running low on a lot of my Arctics pencils and I want to buy another set, we're going to roll that into this total each month. So any replacements I buy have to be a part of this. So make it a little more challenging for me. It's still, for me, okay, I'm still calling this a low buy, not a no buy, but a low buy for me. And again, I know I'm lucky to have that, set that, but I mean that, I don't know how to explain that. Like, I don't want to seem like I don't acknowledge that that's a lot and I'm fortunate for it, but I also acknowledge that I have a buying problem and like this is a reasonable amount, I feel like, for me. So, okay. That's all we need to say. We'll leave it at that. I just don't want anybody thinking I'm bragging on stuff. Anyway, so that's what we're going to try. And one of the big points, I spent a lot of time talking about that. Sorry. The other big thing is in almost all, and that's for all hobbies. I didn't specify that either. Woobles are a problem for me. The little crochet kits, and they're like $40 a pop if you get one. And they just came out with a new a Harry Potter set. That's like 4 or 5 things. That's like $100 and something dollars. They're about to do a Hello Kitty collab. So like this can go quick. And like if I want a new video game, it all ties into this. This is my $100 a month hobby budget. But for this sake, I just make notes of all of it here. So anyway, we're going to see how that goes. The other big thing that I'm not writing down here is for almost everything, like books, anything that gets newly released, I'm going to put it in a wish list for the end of the month. And I did that last month. And while there are other books, there were books that were released that I do still want, I feel like that really helped take the fear, FOMO, as they call it. It really took the impulse buying out of the equation. Even when I gave myself like 3 days, it made a massive difference. Rather than buying 7 or 8 books, I bought 4. So one thing I highly recommend, if you're an impulse buyer like me, put it in a list. I know sales kind of don't count here if they're only for a couple days. That's a little different and that's a little harder. But if it's like an Amazon book release or something, go stick it in a wish list for a couple days. For me, I like to try to wait till I see flip-throughs of books before I just fully decide, but just it takes that instant gratification away and it made me more mindful. So I'm going to try to do that more for most of the books till the end of the month, and then do most of my purchases mid-month or the end of the month. So there's that. That was the biggest thing I wanted to talk about change-wise in my goals. Just I still feel like that this is going to help me in the long run and help me avoid impulse buying and help me use what I have rather than just going and buying the new trendy thing, I guess. I've already participated in the March Color Your Hoard hashtag. I would like to actually do some more this month. Like I said, I'm full on in the coloring mood this month, so expect to see this a lot more filled out this month. Man, I've spent a lot of time talking about this. I'm sorry. But of course these are still empty right now. I need to go ahead and start filling this in because I have a feeling this is going to be a long list this month. Fingers crossed, as I say, God willing, the creek don't rise. Kind of hoping that's the case. So I could go ahead and continue to fill this out, and I may do that. I've been doing this month to month just to make sure I'm okay with this layout, but I think at this point I like this condensed layout. So, and we've already started out good for the month. I didn't do jack shit last night. I was so tired all I did yesterday was planning, working on updating these planners, and then my full work day. And like by the time I got done with all that, I was like, I don't want to do anything else. So last night was kind of a pass, but today will be different. That was a lot of time talking about my coloring plans and stuff. All right, so this is the big boy. This is an A5 size planner. Also Hubman and Chubgirl. They are just the cutest. And I'd never tried this before when I bought it for this year. This thing is going to get very interesting with stickers. So I have stickers set up through the end of March for sure. This is supposed to be a yearly planner, and look at how much it's already starting to bow and give me trouble. Do I have the weekly Marches? No, weekly Aprils. I have the weekly April layouts in here. So I'm through the end of April. I am 1 month into Q2 and it already looks like that. And so that's one of the reasons I'm going ahead and putting stickers in it now, because I need to see if I'm going to be able to handle this. I would recommend, if you do, I need to look and see if they have quarterly planners. Maybe they have smaller ones that handle more stickers, because this is bound like just normal book binding. It'll be interesting to see what it does towards the end of the year. So so there's that. This one is a little more laid out. Those are glued together. I loved doing the urine pixels toward the last half of last year, so I thought I would continue it this year. And I'm not very good about updating this daily. I'm going to tell you. This probably isn't as accurate as it should be, but overall, I feel like it actually gives me a pretty good indication. So, like, this is just a day rating. What is my day like? Is it good? Is it bad? We have great, good, meh, which it's just a day, awful, and the worst. And as you can see, my pessimistic ass does not have very many good or great, not even one great day, as far as we can see so far this year. We're not done with Q1 just yet, so we're gonna cross our fingers because March is gonna be better. I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna manifest it. Um, but it looks like it's on fire. It looks like January and February were on fire, and when I tell y'all, that is pretty much the truth of the matter. One thing I kind of liked doing was I put some of these I put initials in so I know why these days were so bad. Now, 6 months from now, I'm going to look back and be like, what the heck does that mean? Hopefully, I'll be able to figure it out. But, like, when I tell y'all, that first week of the month was good. And I thought, man, we really are setting the tone this year. And then the rest of January happened. Then February happened. And it wasn't until towards the end of February that I felt like things started finally looking up a little bit. So this is why I haven't been coloring right here. It's just I do have chronic depression. I am a pessimistic person by nature, but when I say we just had a lot drop on us, like there was a layoff involved here, not me. Um, I had to do a work trip where I was stranded due to snow and ice, as you guys well know, towards the beginning of February, where I was stuck in a hotel in Nashville for days, and then I ended up getting a sinus infection during that trip, so I was really down and out the week after that. And then work just got real intense during February. And then the thing with Winry happened where we found out she, is having heart issues. And then my mom had a situation happen where she wound up in the hospital for a few days. And so that led to a very rough couple of weeks while I'm trying to get a lot of these projects done. So, yeah, not looking great start to the year, but you know what? The weather has been really warm the last 2 or 3 days. It shouldn't be this time of year, but I gotta say it is for my short-term mood doing some good things. Maybe not for the planet long term, but for the short term, it is doing some good things to my mood. Because look at this. Look how many good days. We haven't had any good days since the first week of January, and look, like, we've had good days. So, yeah. These I usually split in half because my first half of the day is vastly different than my second half of the day. I'll be very productive work-wise or life-wise the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day I'm usually exhausted or existing when things are really dire. And you can again see that here. Um, I have happy, relaxed, productive, anxious, depressed, exhausted, and existing as my moods. I'm trying to look. Do we have any happies? I don't think so. I colored over those in two colors, which is why they kind of look green. I think those are more relaxed. Anyway, haven't had a happy day yet. Again, just the life of somebody with chronic depression and drowning work life. But I am happy that I've been so productive. There have been spans where I haven't been productive, but that I've been really happy with that. A lot of I was really sick and depressed the week I had that sinus infection. Just nothing was getting done. The last few days have been better. I've been productive and at least kind of relaxed over the weekend. I felt really good. Like had a really good relaxing weekend. So, pain wise, my fibromyalgia and joint pain, of course, with these weather changes, while it helps my mood, it does not help my pain levels. They really react to temperature swings and pressure swings. So that's been flaring up. I've been having a huge problem with pain in my left foot, particularly my left, well, all over my left foot. Over the past few months, my doctor diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis. I don't know how you pronounce it. I was wearing a sling boot splint thing to bed, and it didn't really like wasn't doing anything. So now I have a follow up with a podiatrist. Ugh. But the thing is, I took the sling off and now it's hurting more. So, like, I guess it was doing something, but it wasn't improving anything. It was just not making it worse. Anyway, I meet with him on the 12th. I can't, as much as I'd like to get on the treadmill or the bike or anything, I'm kind of scared to till I talk to him because I just don't know how much I should be putting pressure on this foot. It was really painful over the weekend and I had to pretty much stay off of it completely. So that has sucked. And then temperature, again, we've had some really average, mild, nice days. End of February, beginning of March. Again, February was weirdly warm. January was awful and just cold. That is wild. I just noticed that. Like, we had a couple kind of cold days in February. But really, truly, February was like a little bit chilly, a little bit average, and that's concerning. Okay. Finished a few books last month. I'm only at 5 for the year. Supposed to have 50. My weight didn't really change much from February, but I ate a lot of uh, junk food. Well, not a lot, but so I had a couple of weeks where I was eating, like there were some Girl Scout cookies involved, there were brownies, I broke down and had cereal for a couple of weeks, but for my weight to stay virtually the same, I'm not stressed about it. I can't exercise really right now, so until I find out what to do with my foot. So it's still a drop from the beginning of the year, so I'm happy. Body care routine, I am just all over the place. I was doing really good with putting stuff on my face and doing a skincare thing, improving my rosacea the first January. Then it went off the rails in February. I was going to try the treadmill, but because of my foot, I can't. So I don't know what we're doing there. We didn't really do a date night in February, which sucks. Let's see here. I did visit with my mom the last week of February, which I think really did help my mood. I would like to do a game night with my brother. I think we can make that happen in March. We're going to try to go visit my parents one weekend in March, which, again, work-wise, things, I pray, slow down this month. We watched Kill Chain with Nicolas Cage. We're trying to do all the Nick Cage movies. I do not recommend Kill Chain. It is a pretty awful movie. But it was free on Prime with ads. Don't get me started with those ads. Oh my gosh. We're seriously thinking about, because we order a lot from Prime, but we could definitely just handle the $35 free shipping limit. Like, we're seriously thinking about canceling our Prime next year just because the ads thing really was what made us start looking at it, because it's ridiculous to give you a service with no ads and then take it away and not just like offer a lower tier or something like that. Like, it's not like the other plans that are changing the price of their plans or giving you a discount if you look at ads. Like, they're like, no, we're just going to take away what we were giving you. Sorry, deal with it. Well, they're not sorry, deal with it. And just, it makes me foam at the mouth mad. Like, I just can't tell y'all how much the streaming services are irritating me these days. All right, February. So this works where months are at the beginning and I've already filled out February. March is pretty well filled out. Thankfully, this is not overly. I have like three, but I have these doctor appointments that fall like this, which I think is funny. A lot of holidays this month, though. We spring forward this Sunday, which I hate. I hate. I sleep so much better on standard time. It's really going to screw up my sleep quality. I'm just finally getting to the point where I'm pretty okay with my schedule and my sleep schedule. I still have bad nights, but that's just because I drink too much caffeine. But I hate it when we spring forward. I hate it. Like, the majority of this country hates this. So I just don't understand why we can't at least agree to pass this and like stop doing this. Anyway, so I dread that. It's going to screw up the cat's food schedule too. Silencia, well, I'm going to talk about it week to week, but like I have a couple doctor's appointments. We do have meteorological spring actually started on the 1st, but the calendar spring is on the 19th. I'm already coloring spring stuff. Bring it on. Like I said, not good for the planet, but for my current mood, I kind of need some spring mentality here. Finalize our auto ships. I have a couple things that are shipped through like medical medicine for me, medicine for the cats, and food that's shipped through like Chewy, and then again we get some prescription foods. So, and I'm already working on April. Those are the only ones I have filled in. I've got to come in and start updating my stickers. I think for Q2 is going to be, we'll just work on them in quarters. All right, weeks. This is an example of a week. I'm trying to use up as many stickers as I can. I was doing a lot more writing at the start of the year. And then using my sprocket to do pictures for kind of memory keeping purposes. So it's been really fun. I've actually really enjoyed doing that. Just going back at a glance and looking at these is always fun. So there were a lot of plans and to-dos in January. Those kind of fell off the wagon. So if we look back at February, this is going into February here. This is where I'm starting to use my shibis and my little planes. This looks like, so the only problem is the color in these little sprocket, these little handheld printers isn't that great. That turkey first time we ever cooked a whole turkey, it turned out great, and it looks a lot better than it does in the picture, but that poor picture just makes it look so pitiful. It's okay though. It's a memory. It's a memory. I was so proud. My husband spent all day working on that turkey. It was right after the thing happened with his job, and he spent all day working on that turkey, and I was so happy. I love turkey. So I was totally cool with it. Now, some weeks that are just busy weeks, I don't put in a picture, but I like to try to do a picture or two a week. But some weeks I have to just go back and backfill, or they're just busy. Like this week was just busy. I didn't have a lot of time to do much anything. And I also keep up with my videos in here. Yeah, that first full week in February was just really busy. I was working on some email campaigns that were being activated at the end of February, and it was a set of 8 total. And so it was just a lot of things to do that come along with that. Then this week was also full. I also filled in with some cool stickers. This was where we had Winry Senior Wellness, and where we found out about, would help if I put this where y'all could see it, where we found out about her heart murmur getting worse and her blood work showing she's at high risk for cardiovascular disease. She has an appointment April 9th to be listened to again, and we're going to gauge how her heart murmurs progressed since the 13th of February. So that's the only thing. She's taking Plavix as a blood thinner because she's at increased chance of stroke. That's really all we can do for her. Unless the cat's in active heart failure, there's not a lot they can do, and her blood pressure is absolutely perfect. So I can't really do anything about her blood pressure either. So Of course, I put a picture of her there. She's 19. She looks a little rough. I mean, if I get to be 100 and something years or whatever she is in people years or cat years, I'm gonna look a little rough too. So, um, oh yeah, the was it really January 30th when Wesley passed away? Wow, feels like that just happened a few weeks ago. Our outdoor, not my cat, Wesley, passed away. He had a really bad wound on his face. I finally got a hold of him. He was completely feral, but I had seen it and it wasn't getting any better. We took him in. He was severely FIV positive, and the fact it was shutting down his system. And so she's like, I don't even think this wound will heal because the FIV affects his immune system so much. He was at least probably 12 or 13, and she said honestly at this point he's so sick. She's like, he's in pain. She's like, it's best to let him go. So that was tough. He's here, as you can see. Guess I should have, it's a box though, so he's here, and I actually need to go put him outside. I joked that I have to put him outside on warm days on the porch or he'll come back and haunt me, because he was completely feral, completely outdoor cat. He never would have been able to convert to indoors. I mean, people could try and convince me of that all day long, maybe when he was 1 or 2 years old, but there are just some cats that are never, and he was an outdoor cat, and we took care of him the best we could. I gave him the only gift I could give him at the end, and so can't talk about it too much. I'll get upset, but I know I did more for him than anybody else did around here, and that, hopefully he knew I cared about him. I joke, I say not my cat, but he kind of was my cat. So anyway, that was tough. And then the thing with Winry happened, and this is the Disney Dreamlight Valley thing on Steam. That's where I'm saying, like, things were so hard in February that I just had to disconnect, and this was my big disconnect for the month. But you can see my work days were just crazy. My to-do list completely disappeared. Every week I tried them, I never could get around to them. So we just put them to the side. This week in February, super busy. This is also the week that Mom wound up in the ER. So that really, my anxiety really, over family and cats, and when something like that happens, it's really hard to focus at work, which makes complete sense. But when you still have this much going on, though, it's extremely hard. And it was just a tough week. When we started her Plavix, I had to have my therapy canceled a couple weeks because my therapist had a family emergency. But you know what? I didn't shut down completely. I got my work done, did what I needed to do, and I'm proud of myself for just not shutting down completely and getting done, getting through these weeks. And not only getting through these weeks, but being able to do videos. I had to put some of them off, as you can see here. Like, I had the Fox demo and the getting to know my colored pencils planned this week, but they had to get pushed to the next week. So this week I really learned a lot about flexibility and balance. It is okay if you have your planner set out for the week and things move. Things have to move to the next week. They just do. I've had a hard time with that for a long time, but like this month, I literally just didn't have the anxiety and the headspace. I was like, it's just got to move. I just can't. I just can't. And so, if anything, the month came out, I was really pleased that I was able to manage. I was able to survive it and not be completely torn to pieces. This was a cute picture. Bagheera loves Leroy, and Leroy does not love Bagheera. And so it's a rare moment where he can get this close to him, and he's all sprawled out on the bed, looking so comfy. This is one of the rare moments I can sort of rub his belly. He's never trusted us to rub his belly, which breaks my heart. He's such a baby, and I would hope that he would let us rub his belly, but he just can't. He just can't. It's just not who he is, and I guess that's okay. Every so often, you can get in a very light belly rub if you do it gentle. But yeah, no, to-do list didn't get done at all that week. This week, I got to visit my mom last Tuesday. Had to take a PTO day because I forgot my laptop, which was funny. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about, though. We have daffodils blooming in February. Like, it's pretty. These are some wild ones that come up every year in our yard. And I love them, and they're pretty, and it really brightens my mood because I can see them outside my office window to see them, but it is too early. It is too early. Anyway, as you can see, a whole nother week. I did do some volunteer work last week, which was really cool. I'll have to talk about that in the color and chat sometime. But no, I did really good this month keeping up with this. And then that was the fox picture that I did. So if anything, I've really, even if I've had to bulk update it at times, I've kept up with my planner for 2 months straight, which is huge. I think the previous 2 years I've tried starting to keep up with a planner. I have not been successful. So, if nothing else, if I've done nothing else in 2 months, and I mean, I've done a lot these past few months, but if nothing else in terms of personal growth, it's being able to keep up with this planner and this layout. I really like this format. This is what we're going to stick with. And it's being comfortable with needing to move things. There are some things on my to-do list that I have wanted to do since the first week of January that still aren't done. But you know what? They just they're just low priority. They'll get done. I'll have a couple days or a week like this week where I've been able to make appointments and get things set up, and they'll get done eventually. I just, like I said, I hit my limit in February, and I said I cannot continue to work and function if I continue to worry about these other things. So we're just gonna move them. So there you go. This was last week. Already started this week, so here is March. We got Winry outside yesterday. Love seeing that. She is doing pretty good. Well, you can't really see it that well, can you? There we go. Like I said, the only downside to the sprocket is the color is not the best. But anyway, I was really happy to see her outside yesterday. She's doing pretty well. Like I said, the stroke is the biggest concern right now, and we just don't know what her heart's going to do over the next 2 months where she's in a very low stress environment. I'm not traveling. We're trying to keep things low stress for her. I'm curious to see how her heart murmur changes. That's going to dictate a lot of, I have work travel in May, and I have my trip I take with my brother in June. That may dictate some changes for me. I may have to do some stuff remotely. We may have to skip our vacation this year. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Finger crossed we don't have to, but I'm not worrying, again, not worrying about it until April 9th, and then I will decide on the next step after that. But yep, this is my week. Again, it is filling up pretty good. I kept my coloring video plan very vague for Thursday. I have no idea what I'm doing there. But I have some things to work in this week too, as I have the time. And yeah, so that's kind of how how March is going to roll, and I've already got it set up. And then I also have going into April. So I've got to update. My April is my Sleepy Sloths. So yeah, I spent a whole lot of time talking about these planners. Probably didn't have to, but it's all right. It's kind of this is kind of a mental recap of my life over the past month. And like I said, February had a lot of stressful things and a lot of not so great things. But I'm still here. I'm still updating. I used up a lot of stickers. I'm using up my planning stickers like I want to. I am getting back into coloring, and work is just slightly less crazy than it's been for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Now, if I could just get my foot to quit hurting, we'd be doing really good. Well, pretty good. I think I said last month, if I could get to the point where if somebody asked me, how's your day going? And I could say pretty good and actually mean it, then that would be huge. So we might be to the point, other than being tired and my foot hurting, where I could say pretty good. I'm pretty close. So anyway, that is how I lay out my planners. This is probably what I'm going to do each month, is just review over the past month and what I've done. And wait a minute. Oh, right, because these are the months. Yeah, of course, I fill out the months first, and I'm trying to keep up a lot more with things like my appointments. Yeah, I have 3 doctor's appointments this month. Tomorrow I've got to get my vitamin D levels checked. My podiatrist appointment is on the 12th. I'm supposed to go see my rheumatologist on the 18th. But that is, well, I got a call in a minute. I'm switching rheumatologists. He's awful. I still have not gotten my pre-authorization on my $300 a month medicine. Is it 300 or is it 500? I honestly don't remember now. Anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot of money. Whatever it is, I think it's, I can't remember. Anyway, it's one of those numbers. It's too big a number. It's a number I shouldn't be paying, because they did pre-authorization last year and it went fine. There were no issues. And this year, I can't get his office to do anything. I have tried calling them, leaving multiple messages. I can't. I left a message through their message center. I can't get them to call me back. I can't get them to tell me, hey, we can't do this because of this or that, or we haven't received it. I haven't been able to get anybody to tell me any reason why they haven't approved it. And they just haven't approved it. So I've had to pay out of pocket for the last 2 months. And I'm going to have to pay out of pocket this month too. So he's already, boy, I am in a mood today. He's already an asshole. He's a pompous asshole, and I hate him. I tried to switch to him hoping I could get somebody who would take me seriously. And he is awful. And the way he has treated me and looked down at me and just dismissed me has been just disgusting. And if I can, when I move to my other rheumatologist, you best believe I'm going to find their customer care or whatever, and definitely let them know why. But I want to get my stuff switched first. Heck, it's not like they're doing their job anyway. Anyway, I'm supposed to go see him this month to get my year refill. And we're going to be getting this pre-authorization mess fixed. However, I was hoping to make it virtual. That was the only thing he had going for him. He's in Nashville. I thought he let me do a virtual before, and it's 2 hours during rush hour to get to him, and there, from here to there. And I was like, if I could just switch this to virtual, I don't want to see him anyway. And they're like, he doesn't do virtual anymore. I'm like, well, man, you just lost the one thing you had going for you. Don't get me started on those either. That's ridiculous. You should offer virtual. And so I'm going back to my old rheumatologist, hopefully, fingers crossed. I got to call them today. I'm going to set up an appointment. I want to make sure that I see them and that I have no problem switching that Savella before I move away from him. I'm hoping, since I'm an existing patient, maybe they'll get me in sooner. But I'm going to keep that appointment with him if I can't see them for a while, just to get some refills for the year, because when I had to ration it and go off of it completely because I was waiting on all that, I figured out I still very much need the medicine. And it's unfortunate and it's ridiculous that this has not already been resolved. And I'm just tired of calling his office. I've done it half a dozen times at this point. Is anybody else having that problem, by the way? I've been trying to get a phone number ported from my old cell phone carrier to my new one, and I'm trying to get this pre-authorization thing approved. There's a couple different things that I've had to call 6 or 7 times to try to fix, and it's just not getting done. Is anybody else having that problem, like trying to get a resolution for something through the phone and like either not getting calls back or things not being done when they say they're going to be done and still having problems like a month or two later? Like I try to, and I'm not dissing on the customer reps or the person who takes my messages at the doctor's office, because even they're like, yeah, I just talked to you last week, this is ridiculous, why haven't they called you back? Even they were like, why haven't they called you back? And I'm like, you tell me, I don't know. So I'm not mad at the customer service reps I've been working with. It's just nothing's getting done. And it's like I barely have the time to call and make these appointments. And some of these things I have to do. My husband would love to, he tries to make appointments when he can. But some of these things like my doctors and stuff, he can't do it for me. So but I'm having the hardest time getting anything accomplished, like anything fixed. And I don't know what the problem is. And like I said, I try to wait, give time between calls to see if it takes a couple extra days. I have been nothing but pleasant on the phone. I'm not cussing out anybody. I'm not, because again, it's not their fault, but it's just like something in the systems are broken. And this, we're talking healthcare and cell phones here, so like two different industries where there's some fundamental issue here that's just not getting resolved, and it's like I can't get anybody that actually knows how to fix something and actually follows through and fixes it. So I don't know. I'm very frustrated about having to call and follow up on things. That might be part of the reason I just stopped trying to keep up with that list, because I kept trying to do it and I kept then waiting and nothing getting resolved, and I finally was like, okay, I'm tired of calling people. So anyway, that was just an aside. I find that very weird since the start of the year. And like I said, two different industries. So, all right, I have talked a lot. If I should have said this at the beginning, this is probably only interesting to people that like track planners and keep up with planners. I like I said, this is kind of a self-reflection on what worked, what hasn't, being honest with myself. I really like this system I have in place. I feel like I should be doing a better job of keeping up with these on a more regular basis instead of kind of bulk filling stuff in, but for the most part, um, I like what's happening here and I do want to keep on with it. It's just some things, some goals I haven't been able to meet, some things I'm struggling with, and so we're just being flexible and readjusting as we go along. And hopefully we'll continue this in March. So I just have a really bad habit of doing it, going strong for a couple months, and then life getting crazy and it falling by the wayside. But you know, life got pretty crazy in January and February and I kept with it. So maybe a corner is starting to turn. A corner is turning. A corner is turning. Michelle, that's not even physically possible. We're turning a corner. Okay, I'm getting off here. Hope you guys have a good week. Thursday, I have an idea of a page I want to work on with some watercolors. I think I want to do the next tarot page in the Lulu Mayo book and use my iridescent watercolors and stuff. I think we're going to do that and then just kind of do a demo color and chat thing. So we'll see. And then this weekend we're going to start my coloring book collection for 2024. So there we go. Hope you have a good start to the week and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.